Hello viewers, you're watching India Today Global with me, Shita Mitra, and at this hour I bring you the top story from around the globe. Now, in a significant legal development and some major good news for India, the U.S. Supreme Court has cleared the way for extradition of Tahawwur Rana, a key figure in the 2008 Mumbai terror attacks. Now, the court dismissed his last legal petition against being sent to India, where he faces charges related to the 2008 terror attacks. Rana, a Canadian businessman of Pakistani origin, had lost earlier battles in lower courts, and this was his last chance to avoid being handed over to Indian authorities. Now, despite being acquitted in a US federal court of charges which were related to the Mumbai terror attacks, India has long sought his extradition, arguing that the charges he faced in India are based on the same conduct that were not fully addressed in the US trial. In fact, the request that India sent dates back to 2019, and it was on June 10, 2020 that New Delhi went on to file a complaint seeking the provisional arrest of Rana with the intention to eventually extradite him. Now, former US President Joe Biden has been supportive of India's request. His administration eventually has been, working for India in their endeavor and finally approved the request. Now, US President administration also, made a lot of efforts, especially in the last few years, and which eventually showcased in this case. Now, even though Rana's legal team, Rana who's a terrorist, let me state it again, Rana's legal team attempted one final move to block this extradition by filing a petition with the Supreme Court in November 2024 last year. The court denied his request on January 21st, 2025, which is this year, and now Rana will be extradited to India. Now, what are the charges he's facing? Let's understand that. He is accused of helping orchestrate the devastating terror attacks in Mumbai in November 2008. Now, if you remember, viewers, 10 Pakistani terrorists attacked various iconic locations in the financial capital, and they held the city hostage for about 60 hours. And this brutal attack led to over 166 people losing their lives. This included even 6 Americans, and thousands others were injured. Now, Rana's association with Pakistani-American terrorist David Coleman Headley, also known as Daud Gilani, one of the masterminds again of the attack, has raised significant concerns. And Rana allegedly collaborated with Headley only and the terrorist groups Lashkar-e-Taiba to plan and execute the attacks in Mumbai in 2008. Now, if you see, he has been incarcerated in Los Angeles since the US accepted India's extradition request, and with the Supreme Court's ruling, now he's closer to facing a trial in India. So, US approved India's request, and now the extradition process is going to start, but basically this happened under a treaty. The bilateral extradition treaty between India and the US, it was signed in 1997, and it obligates both the nations to honor such requests, and the Biden administration had supported, has been very supportive of India's efforts in this case. And now this ruling also underscores the ongoing cooperation between India and US in their fight against terrorism. So as of now, Rana remains detained at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Los Angeles. His extradition is expected to provide, of course, a step forward in holding everyone who was accountable and responsible for the Mumbai terror attacks. If you are somebody who watched those visuals which were coming in 2008 November, those were gruesome visuals. The attack sent shockwaves across the nation, across the world, and it especially left a dent, if you can see, in India's counter-terrorism efforts, because these were 10 men who had come from Pakistan. They held the city hostage for about 60 hours, and even now a lot of cases have been going on. So now this extradition of Tahawwur Rana is definitely a step forward in bringing justice to those people who lost their lives, who lost their family members, and who still have the scars from such attacks. So India is, of course, now preparing to bring him to trial, and we'll have to see how that goes on. But this is certainly a good news for New Delhi, who's been, ramping up its efforts to counter terrorism And this, of course, is a fundamental case of how India can, achieve that goal. So thank you so much, viewers, for watching this with me on India Today Global. This is the latest we are getting, that a mastermind involved in the Mumbai terror attacks is now going to be extradited to India. We do not know the dates we do not know the details as far as when the date would come, when the process would begin. But as of now, the US Supreme Court has cleared the request, which means the process is going to start soon. So thank you so much for watching this with me, Ishita Mitra. This is India Today Global, where we simplify geopolitics for you.